Okay, geography. First virtual lecture, so let's do this. So your homework from the previous day asked you two things: to define geography for yourself and to define history for yourself. And we're going to go over briefly that first part today and kind of see geography in practice. So, as you should hopefully be able to see, looking at the computer screen, it looks like it's working, so sweet. What is geography? For me, I like to refer to geography as the why of where because it gives geography some depth beyond just saying, well, it's looking at maps and stuff. Because there's more to it than just looking at maps and looking at data. I think it really refers more to the mindset and the way we look at these maps and the way we look at this data. And I think the phrase why of where really helps summarize that. Again, if you read the intro, the instructions page on Canvas today, why of where shows up a lot when I'm talking about what geography is. And what does that mean, though? What does the why of where mean? I take it as having two components to it. First off, when we're talking about the why of where, we're asking, why does this thing happen where it happens? Maps tell us information. They show us certain information. They show us where certain things are, where certain things happen. And a geographer looks at that and thinks, why? Why does this thing happen where it happens? And also kind of the inverse of that. Why doesn't it happen where it doesn't happen? And approaching maps and approaching data with that mindset really allows you to come to some really interesting inferences. And just as an example of how to put the why of where mindset in action, I'm going to go over a map. And right off the bat, I can tell this is, oh, actually it is showing up. I'm just too far back. All right. It's a good camera. Okay, so right off the bat, I'm going to kind of walk you through the why of where mindset with this map, and then you'll do another version of this for homework. So right off the bat, as I'm looking at this map, I need to determine what this is a map of and what it's showing me. So looking at it, I can tell this is a map of Indiana. It's subdivided by county. But what is it showing me about Indiana? For that, I'm going to need to go to the key or the legend over here. And this is kind of blurry. This is blurry for me. I can guarantee it's going to be blurry for you. But looking at the legend and looking at basically what it says, it clarifies that this is specifically a map about Indiana's, or a map of Indiana's population density. So it's a map of the number of people, the average number of people living per square mile throughout the state of Indiana, and they put the county lines here just to give us some frame of reference. If we look at the legend, we can see darker shades of red indicate higher levels of population density, while darker shades of green indicate lower levels of population density, meaning fewer people per square mile. Okay, so now that I understand that, now that I know what this is a map of, I can start to look at it and try and analyze it. So looking at this map, there are a couple of things that stick out to me. One is how most of it's various shades of green, so most of it has relatively low population density with these pockets of high population density. Now, if I'm approaching this with the why of where mindset, I'm asking myself, why are these certain areas higher population density and why are the green areas lower population density? And looking at the pattern, I can infer correctly that these darker red areas, basically just dots throughout the map, indicate urban areas. They indicate cities or larger towns. No, Middletown is not on here. But we do see the four largest areas, the four largest urban areas of the state, illustrated by this map of population density. And again, there's no indication that where these places are. The map itself is not saying these are cities, but the population density indicates to me that these are probably large urban areas. So right down here, we got the biggest one, Indianapolis. Up here, we've got Fort Wayne, and then over here, South Bend, and then Gary. And even if I didn't know those were those cities, but I knew how to read a map, I could have still come to that conclusion. I could have figured that out by inferring that these pockets of high population density are most likely larger urban areas, more heavily populated urban areas. Going along with this as well, I can also infer where parts of the state have the highest levels of economic activity. What levels of the state in general have the highest levels of wealth? And this would also correlate with these larger pockets of population density, these urban areas. And I can infer that because, well, if there's more people here, then there's more economic activity taking place. More people are selling things, more people are buying things, more people are participating in the economy, yada, yada, yada. A third inference here really requires you to kind of take a step back and look at the whole picture. And if you really look at it, you can kind of see that there's a pattern to the distribution of these larger clusters of population density, these urban areas, these towns, these cities. And let me get a marker because I'm going to show you. This is probably the most well-known example because it's closest to us. But if you notice, there's kind of this direction. Wow, that is a dead marker. Okay, never mind. But there's kind of this direction or this line, this invisible line connecting all of these urban areas. If you see, they're kind of going out from this central hub in straight lines. That's kind of odd because when they're that planned, when they're that straight, you can infer that they were planned. There's some planning here in the development and the distribution of these towns. And if you really infer, and you notice how they're all kind of branching out and going into this central area, and how they're all kind of straight, we can use this map to determine where major transportation routes, in this case they'd be interstates, but where the major transportation routes are in the state. Because these towns are located along the transportation routes. And they're connecting these larger urban areas, like right here, 69 runs up right around there, connecting Indianapolis to Fort Wayne. So this is just an example, a quick example of how the why of where mindset allows us to get more information out of a map than what the map explicitly tells us. Explicitly, this map just tells me the population density from Indiana. But if I know how to read a map and I know how to think critically, I can get a lot more information out of this map simply by knowing how to approach it, how to read it, and how to think about it. Now, your homework for tonight is to try this for yourself. There are more specific directions for this on the actual assignment on Canvas, but this is the map you're going to be using, and this PowerPoint is on Canvas, so you don't have to worry about doing it purely off of this projection or this recording. Recording. This is so weird. With this map, you're going to basically be practicing the why and where mindset for yourself. What you're going to do for your homework is you're going to basically walk through the same steps that I did with this map of Indiana. What you'll do, you'll need to describe what the map is explicitly of and what it's explicitly showing, and then you'll need to make some inferences of your own based off of what this shows. And I give you some hints about different ways to think about this and different ways to approach this in the specific directions for the assignment on Canvas. I want at least 4. If you have questions, email me. If not, if all goes well, then I will, talk to you tomorrow. Won't see you tomorrow. I won't see you for a while. Have a good day.